This is the L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final. Here's Steve. All right, thank you very much, Harry. Good evening, everybody. Boy, to say this was a Wednesday to remember would be a understatement. Let's turn there. Would be an understatement. It has been a Wednesday of historic proportions in the world of sports. We will get you all the news that we can, and some of it is fluid. Some of it continues to filter in, and we will try our best to bring you the latest. And we'll try everything, folks, so bear with us. But right now, let's do what we can to bring you up to date on everything that has happened today. And let us start. 4 o'clock was the beginning. And now we're at 11:23. And right now, I just don't know what to tell you, to be honest with you. We'll try what we can. It started at 4 o'clock when the Milwaukee Bucks walked out of their scheduled game with the Orlando Magic, 4-10. They refused to leave their locker rooms ahead of that tip. And right now, at last report, well, let's give you this story and then we'll update. The NBA and its players and coaches have taken myriad measures to make clear their support for the Black Lives Matter movement while standing against all racial injustice and police brutality. But in the wake of a black man named Jacob Blake being shot 7 times in the back by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin on Sunday, there has been a running dialogue among players that what they're doing isn't enough and moving forward about what more they can do to use their platforms to impact change. Thus they did. They boycotted the games that they love to play. On Wednesday, the Milwaukee Bucks did not show up on the court for Game 5 of their first-round matchup versus the Orlando Magic. Shortly thereafter, the NBA made it official that all of Wednesday's games have been postponed. It could very well be longer than that if the postseason resumes at all. Multiple reports are that the players and coaches meeting inside the bubble indicated Thursday's games were unlikely to be played at a minimum. Shams Charania of The Athletic reported that the Lakers and Clippers voted to cancel the rest of the season and that LeBron James left the meeting. Here was the statement from the NBA regarding tonight's, what I guess they're going to frame this is as a player strike. Quote, the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association today announced that in light of the Milwaukee Bucks' decision to not take the floor today for Game 5 against the Orlando Magic, today's 3 games, Bucks versus Magic, Rockets versus Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets versus Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Los Angeles Lakers Portland Trail Blazers game have been postponed. Game 5 of each series will be rescheduled. From the Bucks management, this statement, quote, we fully support our players and the decision they made. Although we did not know beforehand, we would have wholeheartedly agreed with them. The only way to bring about change is to shine a light on the racial injustice that is happening in front of us. Our players have done that, and we will continue to stand alongside them and demand accountability and change. George Hill and Sterling Brown, on behalf of the Bucks players, in a prepared statement, said this, quote, the past 4 months have shed a light on the ongoing racial injustices facing our African-American communities. Citizens around the country have used their voices and platforms to speak out against these wrongdoings. Over the last few days in our home state of Wisconsin, we have seen the horrendous video of Jacob Blake being shot in the back 7 times by a police officer in Kenosha and the additional shooting of protesters. Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action, so our focus today cannot be on basketball. When we take the court and represent Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we are expected to play at a high level, give maximum effort, and hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves to that standard, and in this moment, we are demanding the same from lawmakers and law enforcement. We are calling for justice for Jacob Blake and demand officers be held accountable. For this to occur, it is imperative for the Wisconsin State Legislature to reconvene after months of inaction and take up meaningful measures to address issues of police accountability, brutality, and criminal justice reform. We encourage all citizens to educate themselves, take peaceful and responsible action, and remember to vote on November 3rd. That is the statement. And the statement from the NBPA Executive Director, Michelle Roberts, says, quote, "Throughout the season restart, our players have been unwavering in their demands for systemic justice. This week, we witnessed another horrific, shocking, and all too familiar act of brutality in the shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The players have once again made it clear they will not be silent on this issue. We stand with the decision of the players of the Milwaukee Bucks to protest the injustice and support the collective decision to postpone all of today's games." Now, what we know at this moment, it is still involving, it is still a fluid situation. The latest, NBA TV is reporting that sources close to the players, and in fact, some sources close to the NBA itself, say that the NBA will postpone tomorrow night's games as well. And if we can get back to the gentleman's name, Shams Shariana, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, plus a report from ESPN, the NBA Board of Directors has scheduled an emergency meeting for tomorrow to decide whether or not the season whether or not to cancel the season altogether. Ladies and gentlemen, this is as fluid can get, but they are not the only ones. What the Milwaukee Bucks have done has had an effect on the rest of the sports world. Let us give you the latest on games that are also that were also canceled. News of the Bucks walking out sent a ripple effect across sports in the United States. Here are all the games that have been postponed as a sign of protest. And it's a long one. My apologies. In the NBA, the Orlando Magic versus Milwaukee Bucks, Game 5, first round. In the NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder versus Houston Rockets, Game 5, first round. In the NBA, Portland Trailblazers versus Los Angeles Lakers, Game 5, first round. The WNBA, the Washington Mystics versus the Atlanta Dream. WNBA, Los Angeles Sparks versus Minnesota Lynx. WNBA, Connecticut Sun versus the Phoenix Mercury. In Major League Baseball, Cincinnati Reds versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Major League Baseball, Seattle Mariners versus San Diego Padres. Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Dodgers versus San Francisco Giants. Major League Soccer, Atlanta United versus Inter Miami. Major League Soccer, FC Dallas versus Colorado Rapids. Major League Soccer, Real Salt Lake versus Los Angeles FC. MLS two more times. San Jose Earthquakes versus the Portland Timber. And the Los Angeles Galaxy taking on the Seattle Sounders. Now, many NBA players and coaches have spoken with heavy hearts since the shooting of Blake. And earlier Wednesday, the Toronto Raptors discussed the possibility of sitting out Game 1 of their second-round matchup against the Boston Celtics. Coaches like Doc Rivers have given emotional statements in response to the shooting of Blake, stating poignantly, quote, "We keep loving this country and this country doesn't love us back," end quote. Raptors guard Fred VanVleet told the media on Tuesday that in order to bring change, players would have to, quote, "put something up to lose rather than just money or visibility," end quote. By sitting out games, that certainly makes a statement that the players are sick and tired of nothing changing in regard to police brutality against black people in this country. The players have called for a meeting tonight. That meeting is continuing to determine the next steps. And Jeff Goodman of Goodman Hoops had this to say about a few moments ago. One NBA player told me following the meeting, quote, "It was emotional, heated. It doesn't look good right now, but we're all hoping that everyone will sleep on it and maybe we can figure it out tomorrow because most of us still want to find a way to play." The Lakers and the Clippers, their players, voted to have the season canceled. Dave McMenamin has said that a league source in the bubble tells ESPN there was no sense of accomplishment, in quotes. Now that tonight's meeting has been adjourned, added the feeling of, quote, "uncertainty," end quote, will remain until tomorrow's emergency 11 a.m. Eastern Board of Governors meeting occurs. In fact, Adrian Wojnarowski said discussions on continuing the season will extend into tomorrow, sources tell ESPN, but appears unlikely the 3 playoff games on Thursday will be played. Quote, "Everyone is still too emotional," end quote. One high-ranking source tells ESPN, quote, "There needs to be more time to come together on this." And we couldn't agree more. But it has definitely had effect on the entire sports world. And that was just a few little bon mots. But now we continue. The NFL. If Dan Snyder wants to remember 2020, he would rather drink a bottle of whiskey to forget it. Controversy continues to hover over Snyder's beleaguered franchise. Minority partners of the NFL's Washington football team have been pressuring owner Daniel Snyder to sell his stake in it. Amid severe tensions over multiple off-field controversies this offseason, they are not the only ones pushing for change at the very top of the organization. In a Wednesday Washington Post story on more turmoil in the front office, dozens of other former team employees have directly implicated Snyder in Washington's previously reported culture of sexual harassment. Beth Reinhardt, Dalton Bennett, Liz Clark, and Will Hobson of the Post cited interviews with more than 100 current and former employees, as well as a review of internal company records and reporting that Snyder, quote, "has presided over an organization in which women say they have been marginalized, discriminated against, and exploited," end quote. Snyder himself is at the center of 2 specific incidences alleged by team sources, in addition to the general allegations that he, quote, "treated women like servants," end quote, in everyday operation. The Washington Post reports that Larry Michael, Washington's longtime team broadcaster and a senior vice president, directed the crew of a 2008 cheerleader photo shoot to compile lewd outtakes, including sharp shots in, quote, "sharp focus," end quote, and moments where cheerleaders had bare breasts inadvertently exposed for inclusion on a private video for Snyder. Similar footage was allegedly used again in 2010, this time for a DVD private to an executive meeting. Earlier in Snyder's tenure as owner, during a 2004 charity event, Snyder allegedly asked former cheerleader Tiffany Bacon-Scorby to join his friend in a hotel room so they, quote, "could get to know each other better," end quote. A former Washington cheerleader director, Donald Wells, told the Post, quote, "I remember her saying Daniel Snyder offered me the suite with one of his friends." Quote, "She was more or less proposition." Scarby is among 12 former team employees who have enlisted attorney Lisa J. Banks, who specializes in civil rights, employment, and sexual harassment law, while alleging the misconduct and specifically targeting Snyder's involvement. Banks told the Post, quote, A workplace culture this toxic and pervasive at the highest level of the organization simply cannot exist without the knowledge and encouragement of the owner. Banks told the Post, which also reported that many former team employees hope the NFL takes over Washington's own investigation into past conduct and culture in order to ensure thorough scrutiny of Snyder's actions. The league announced later Wednesday that it strongly condemns the unprofessional, disturbing, and abhorrent behavior alleged in the report, but will continue to rely on the ongoing independent investigation into Washington's organization. The NFL has vowed to take appropriate action in the event Washington or anyone associated with the investigation fails to cooperate. Snyder, who vowed to remake Washington's culture on multiple occasions this offseason, has since responded to the allegations. Quote, the behavior described in the Washington Post's latest story has no place in our franchise, in our society. I take full responsibility for the culture of our organization. I have admittedly been too hands-off as an owner and allowed others to have day-to-day control to the detriment of our organization. Going forward, I'm going to be more involved, and we have already made major changes in personnel, bringing in new leadership to drive cultural transformation on and off the field, end quote. Snyder continued by adamantly denying the details of the Post reporting. Quote, the Washington Post article reads like a hit job, relying on unnamed sources and allegations that are largely 10 to 20 years old. We believe these videos to be unauthorized or fraudulent, and this is not a reflection of the Washington football team today, end quote. The Post's latest report on conduct inside Washington's organization comes over a month after 15 women allege a culture of sexual harassment in the building under Snyder's ownership. It also comes 2 years after the New York Times reported on an ex-cheerleader's dissatisfaction with alleged topless photo shoots being, quote, pimped out, end quote, to male sponsors and team suite holders. And the soap opera continues. In college football, let's get to that. In college football, while the Big Ten continues its attempts to string together plans for a potential winter football, and part of those plans could be playing inside dome stadiums. The conference is currently considering several different domes, most of which serve as NFL stadiums, as sites to play games should the Big Ten be able to resume play in time for the winter months, according to the Columbus Dispatch. Potential sites include Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, where the conference currently holds its annual conference championship game, Detroit's Ford Field, Minneapolis's U.S. Bank Stadium, and St. Louis's The Dome at American Center are reportedly also being considered, as is the Syracuse Dome. While not going into, Ohio State's athletic director, Gene Smith, confirmed to the Dispatch that the Big Ten is considering those and other sites. As far as what those other sites might be, the only other dome stadium within the Big Ten's geographic footprint are Miller Park in Milwaukee, Northern Iowa's Unidome, and Northern Michigan's Superior Dome. It is also possible that the Big Ten would consider stadiums outside its footprint, though that could be a lot more difficult to pull off considering travel. Either way, it's clear the Big Ten is trying to figure something out. Shortly after announcing the cancellation of the 2024 football season, Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren said the conference was putting together a task force to configure a plan for the winter or spring. Now, news of the conference considering dome sites comes a week after word leaked that the Big Ten was considering a plan that would see its seasons beginning in early January in order to finish well before the NFL draft. Now, it's not crazy to think that idea is carrying some momentum if the conference is now looking for dome stadiums to play in, because such a setting would become a bigger necessity during January in Big Ten country than March or April. We continue on our merry little chase. It is 11:41. Great to have you with us here on a rather, I'm going to say, newsworthy edition of the L2C Sports Final. In college basketball, Daniel Snyder, you think you're the only one in a little trouble. You're an owner. What we're going to talk about is a coach. And this one's bad. Even worse. LSU coach Will Wade is in the crosshairs of the NCAA again after a report from ESPN on Wednesday revealed that he was part of a impermissible payments made to nearly a dozen potential recruits or people close to them, according to NC2A documents. The documents allege Wade arranged for, offered, and or provided impermissible payments, including cash payments to at least 11 men's basketball prospective student athletes, their family members, individuals associated with the prospects, and or non-scholastic coaches in exchange for their prospects' enrollment at LSU, according to the report. Now, it's unclear how many, if any, of the 11 potential recruits who are part of the NC2A investigation went on to sign with the Tigers. Wade was suspended in March 2019 from his post as LSU's coach after reports from a wiretap conversation revealed he discussed a, quote, strong-ass, end quote, offer to a recruit who was later identified as Javonte Smart. Smart will be a junior at LSU this fall. He was reinstated just a month later after a meeting with NCAA officials in which Wade, quote, denied any wrongdoing in connection with recently reported allegations of irregularities in college basketball recruiting, the people at LSU had said. Wade, nonetheless, was reportedly caught in a wiretap conversation discussing the very definition of recruiting irregularities, particularly in a conversation between he and basketball middleman Christian Dawkins. The allegations against Wade and obtained by ESPN were included in the NCAA's enforcement staff's request that its ongoing infractions case involving Wade and the men's basketball program be steered through IARP, the process through which more complex cases are handled. Now, earlier this year, in a new HBO documentary called The Scheme, audio of Wade was aired in which he was caught in a conversation with Dawkins discussing how LSU can compensate a player better than the NBA's rookie minimum. Quote, we give him more than the D-League, end quote, said Wade, discussing Jaron Blossom game, then a Clemson standout. You thought Daniel Snyder was having a bad week. Okay, let's get you one more bit of news headlines, and then we're going straight to scores of what little sports we have left after tonight. So Phil Mickelson made it beautiful today. Phil Mickelson made, there you go. Can we go down? Yeah. Made PGA Tour Champions history this week in a win. Boop. At the Charles Schwab Series at Ozarks National. Lefty carded a 3-round score of 191 that tied for lowest 54-hole score ever in his debut outing on the Champions Tour. He became the 20th player in the senior circuit history to win in their debut. Now, Mickelson's final score of 22 under was buoyed by an opening round 61 in which he drained 11 birdies and paced the field early with what turned out to be the best round by any golfer in the field all week. Carding 64 and 66 on Tuesday and Wednesday aided him in finishing off the wire-to-wire win with a 4-stroke cushion over Tim Petrovic. Mickelson, a 5-time major champion who turns 50 years old earlier this year, hasn't won a major since 2013, but is still respected as a threat at every level of championship golf. He finished tied at second at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational in Memphis early this month, and finished second at the ATT Pebble Beach Pro-Am earlier this year. He's expected to play in the U.S. Open in September. We've got scores and shout-outs galore coming up. If you'll stay with us, and we know you will. Thank you for watching the L2C Sports Final, and we will be right back. We will be too. Got a little something for you as we hit the adverts for you tonight. So here we go. Going once, twice, and thrice. Now, of course, the shooting incident in Kenosha, Wisconsin on Sunday is going to be the topic of it's going to be one of many topics tonight. Talked to by the one, the only Minnesota's shock lawyer, Nick Rekieta, on his show Lost Bleeding the Interwebs on the Rekieta Law channel on YouTube. Also tonight, do we have anything? Oh, we hope so. This is going to be fun. Let's come on, guys. Okay. Give me a momentation here, and we'll give you the exact title of tonight's edition of the. Okay, tonight, Nick Rekieta has a bourbon review, followed by a whole bunch of other stuff. Blade and Bow, a shooting in Kenosha, Britney Spears, and a whole lot more. It's all coming up on, of course, Lost Bleeding the Interwebs with Nick Rekieta on the Rekieta Law channel, only on YouTube at midnight Eastern, 11 Central. Wow. Okay, and welcome back. It is 48 minutes past the hour of 11 o'clock. I know we got to get some scores and everything, and we do plan to do that. Hopefully some shout outs and more, but right now we're going to go beyond the news and get you some headlines from our friends at awfulannouncing.com. So here we Kenny Smith walked off the Inside the NBA set. He said, I think it's best for me to just support the players and not be here tonight. And it was not a great night if you are an NBA fan, although it is understandable. Maven replaced CEO Jim Heckman with Ross Levinson, who has quite the past. We'll talk about that later. Dan Patrick, iHeartMedia, are launching a new podcast network with 3 shows covering sports and entertainment. I think I'll see about him, give our little podcast a boost. I don't know. But we're going to talk about what's been going on with Maven. So here we go. There are big changes at the top of Under Fire Sports Illustrated owner Maven, as Kerry Flynn of the Cable Noodle Network noted Wednesday night. Maven made an announcement on The Street, Jim Cramer-founded investing publication they bought last year, that CEO Jim Heckman is stepping down, that Ross Levinson, a longtime Heckman collaborator who was named CEO of Sports Illustrated when Maven acquired operation rights to that publication last year, is taking over as CEO. Heckman will remain with the company, but in a business development advisory role, while Levinson is taking the full reins. And wow. And now, as the announcement, and you can read that on awfulannouncing.com, as the announcement notes, this comes after a new round of investment, and the release includes, quote, supporting the move from executives with investors 180 Degree, Capital Corp, and B. Riley Financial. That investment may be important. There have been many questions raised about Maven's financial stability over the years, including in May when the SEC filing showed they only had enough resources to operate through April 2021, even with a $5.7 million CARES Act loan. They're also being sued by former Sports Illustrated owner Meredith for almost $1.1 million in unpaid transition service fees. As per Meredith, the actual amount of unpaid fees was closer to $4 million, but they were able to recover some of that through the SI accounts receivable functions they were providing. So new investment is important, and it certainly isn't that uncommon in the media world for new investors to want to shake up executive ranks and or the board. Now, as for Levinson, he's a very interesting figure. Here's what the release says about him. Levinson has been at the intersection of media, finance, and technology over the past 3 decades. He served as the interim CEO of Yahoo! After leading the Americas division and head of global media for one of the largest consumer businesses on the internet. Previously, he served as president of Fox Interactive Media, the digital arm of News Corp. His experience includes roles at HBO, Tribune, Guggenheim, Digital Media, Search Engine, Alta Vista, and CBS Sportsline. Now, notably, that release doesn't mention Levinson's short stint as publisher and CEO of the New York Times. In August 2017, when the Times was still under Tribune, which was going by the ill-advised name of Tronc at that point, Tronc fired editor and publisher Davin Maharaj and 3 other senior editors and installed Levinson as publisher and CEO. But in January 2018, NPR's David Folkenflik published an extensive piece titled Accusations of Front House Behavior Trail in LA Times Publisher's Career. It led to more than 180 Times staffers signing a letter to Tronc's board demanding Levinson's removal and to him taking an unpaid leave of absence and then eventually exiting around Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong's purchase of the paper later that year. Levinson is definitely not an uncontroversial figure, and he's now stepping into an even more prominent role at a company that's taken criticism on a variety of fronts. Those include the aforementioned unpaid bills, staff-wide layoffs, and attempts to tell laid-off writers not to tweet about being laid off, employing problematic people, publication of the controversial Blue Lives Matter website, abrupt firings of critical employees, and more. What he does as Maven's CEO, well, we'll just have to wait and see if someone else will be tabbed to fill his role as Sports Illustrated's CEO. Wow, Zowie. Okay, by the way, we're on till 12:20, more or less. So we will give you ample insanity, as they say. Or maybe we'll just, yep, we'll sign off the air in about 12:10, 12:20. So with that in mind, and even though the sports world has gone completely in an unusual way, we are going to manhandle that. We'll get you scores. Why? Because we have a scoreboard and we care. So let's go to the scoreboard and we tell you who, what, and why. Mainly the scores. So to the scoreboard we shall go as soon as the loading stops. Okay, let's give you some score. Oh, yeah, we also got to do scores of those Major League Baseball, hockey, and basketball games. Well, no, not basketball, so it'll be hockey and some of the baseball games that are still being played, though. Now, who knows what tomorrow will bring? But let's go anyways. In Europe, the Champions League qualifications. AZ Alkmaar and Pleisen ended at a 1-1 tie, but they went to a tiebreak, and Alkmaar defeated Pleisen 3-1. Mold defeated Celje 2-1. Qarabag over Sheriff Tiraspol 2-1. Maccabi Tel Aviv over Sudova 3-0. Rapid Vienna over Zagreb 1-0. Midtjylland over Ludogorets 1-0. Winners there. CFR Krug and Zagreb ended in a 2-2 tie, so they went to a tiebreak, and Zagreb beat CFR Klug 3-2. Dynamo Brest defeated Sarajevo 2-1. Omonia and Liga went scoreless for the whole game, so they went to extra time. And Omonia, they defeated Legia 2-0. Young Boys defeated Kleksvik 3-1, and Ferencváros defeated Celtic 2-1. In Europe League qualifications, Niederkorn defeated Zeta 3-0. For club friendly, there are too many scores to bring you. So if you want to know what happened, go to scoreboard.com/en/. Here we go. And in baseball, in Japan's NB, it was the Fukuoka Silverhawks over the Oric Buffaloes 4-3, 4-8-0 for the Hawks, 3-6-0 for the Buffaloes. Maury for the Silverhawks gets the win. He splits the uprights. He's 1-1. Dixon for the Buffaloes gets the loss. He's still looking for his first win. He's 0-3. The Hanshin Tigers mashed the Chunichi Dragons 11-3, 11-11-1 for the Tigers, 3-4-1 for the Dragons. Garcia for the Tigers got the win. He's 2-5. Fukutani for the Dragons got the loss. He split the doubles. He's 2-2. Chibalati Marines over the Rakuten Golden Eagles 2-0, 2-3-0 for the Marines, 0-6-0 for the Eagles. Wakui for the Golden Eagles gets lost. He's 8-1. Ojima for the Chibalati Marines gets the win. A split of the quad, 4-4. 4 win, 4 losses. Nippon Ham Fighters over the Cebu Lions, 8-5, 8-8-1 for the Fighters, 5-9-0 for the Lions. Inokida for the Cebu Lions gets the loss. That's his first. And the Sugira for the Ham Fighters gets the win. He's 5-2. The Omuri Giants showed why they're Giants as they walloped the Yakut Swallows 12-5, 12-20-1 for the Giants, 5-7-0 for the Swallows. Hasegawa for the Swallows gets a loss. He's 1-2. Takanashi for the Giants got his first win. He's 1-0. Finally, the Hiroshima Carp over the Yokohama Bay Stars 4-2, 4-8-0 for the Carp, 2-6-0 for the Bay Stars. Hamaguchi for the Bay Stars gets the loss. He's 3 up, 3 down. Nomuri for the Hiroshima Carp got the win. He's 3-1. We'll give you all the other good scores in just a little moment. Let's give you one more baseball thing before we do. South Korea, the Korean baseball organization, the Kia Tigers over the Doosan Bears, 7-5, 7-15-1 for the Tigers, 5-11-0 for the Bears. KT Wisuwon over the Kawoom Heroes, 6-5, 6-10 in extra innings. Yes, that was in extra innings. And let's go back to where we were. Okay, it is midnight Eastern. We hope you're having a good night. This is the L2C Sports Final. I'm Steve the Backsman Baxley on a Wednesday that has turned unforgettable in so many ways. Okay, let's continue. As I said, the KT Wiz Swan defeated the Kawoom Heroes in extra inning 6-5, 6-10-0 for the Swan, 5-8-1 for the Heroes. The Lottie Giants over the SK Wyverns 3-1, 3-4-0 for Giants, 1-4-0 for the Wyverns. NC Dinos over the Hanwha Eagles 9-5. What a way to make a living. 9-11-2 for the Dinos, 5-7-2 for the Eagles. And finally, the LG Twins over the Samsung Lions, 8-5, 8-10-1 for the Twins, 5-9-0 for the Lions. And there you go. So there you go for the second. Let's give you, well, with basketball not participating tonight, let's give you some. We have this moment in time with you. Not a lot of action tonight for obvious reasoning, but let's right now give you the baseball. Now, 3 teams did cancel play, but the rest of baseball played. And let's get you now to the 9th inning. Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals are tied at 5-7-1 for the Royals, 5-9-1 for the Cardinals. In the sixth inning, the Rockies over the Diamondbacks 3-1. Oh, by the way, the Royals and Cardinals, they have just finished. Cardinals beat the Royals 6-5, 6-9-1 for the Cards, 5-7-1 for the Royals. We don't have a report for the winning or losing pitcher, but the players of the game were Merrifield, the right fielder for Kansas City, went 3 for 5, got 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Hudson, the St. Louis pitcher, pitched full 6, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Oh, wait a minute. We've had a... Okay, we'll go back to Royals and Cardinals in just a moment. It's the end of the sixth inning. It's Rockies 3, Diamondbacks 1, 3-5-0 for the Rocks, 1-3-0 for the DBs. Final scores, the White Sox beat up on the Pirates 10-3, 10-12-0 for the Sox, 3-6-0 for the Pirates. Cucho gets the win for the Sox. He's 5-2. Williams gets the loss. He's 1-5. Kachel for the White Sox, the pitcher, pitched 6 full, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, got 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Jimenez for the White Sox, left fielder, went 2 for 3, got 2 runs, a homer, and 3 RBIs, and a walk. Okay, back to the Royals and Cardinals games. We have the winners and losers wrapped right now. Reyes for the Cardinals gets the win. He's 1-0. Rosario for the Royals goes 0-1. Reyes for St. Louis, the pitcher, pitched 2 full, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, got 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Hudson for the St. Louis pitcher, pitched 6 full innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Okay, let's keep going on a rather, shall we say, almost abbreviated edition of the baseball broadcast or baseball games. Braves over the Yankees, 5-1, 5-6-1 for the Braves, 1-2-0 for the Yankees. Anderson gets the win for the Braves. He's 1-0. Cole gets the loss for the Yanks. He's 4-1. Acuna for Atlanta, the center fielder, went 1 for 2, 2 runs, a homer, an RBI, and a walk. Anderson, the Atlanta pitcher, pitched 6 full, gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, got 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Phillies beat the World Series champion Nationals 3-2, 3-12-0 for the Phils, 2-7-0 for the Nationals. Nola gets the win, and she's 3-2. Harris goes double down. Still can't find a win. He's 0-1. And Workman gets his 6th save. Corbin, Washington pitcher, pitched a full 6, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Nola went a full 7, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and 2 walks. More final scores. Blue Jays over the Red Sox 9-1, 9-11-0 for the Blue Jays, 1-3-0 for the Red Sox. Yamaguchi gets the win. He's 1-2. Brewer doubles down, still looking for his first winner. Telias for Toronto is third floor. 2 runs, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs. And Yamaguchi, the Toronto pitcher, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, 2 new walks. And there we go. Let's keep going. The Tampa Bay Rays defeated the Baltimore Orioles 4-3, 4-5-2 for the Rays, 3-8-1 for the Orioles. Sheriff got a gold badge. He got his first win, while Givens gets the first loss. Castillo got his first save. Sharif, the Tampa Bay pitcher, went 1 inning, gave up no hits, no earned runs, no strikeouts, no walks. Jeez. Castillo for Tampa Bay. Castillo, the Tampa Bay pitcher, pitched 1 full, didn't give up a hit, didn't give up an earned run, got 2 strikeouts and no walks. Indians defeat the Twins 6-3, 6-10-2 for the Indians, 3-10-0 for the Twins. Yeah. Okay, we still got more scores, and then we say hello to our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram folks. Indians defeat the Twins 6-3, 6-10-2 for the Indians, 3-10-0 for the Twins. And there we go. Okay. Players of the game, Clevenger for Cleveland, the pitcher, 6 innings pitched. And dang. Sharif, I've already mentioned, 1 inning pitched, no hit, no errors, no strikeout, no walks. Castillo gets one pit. No, there no. Okay, let's get right to it before I have my eyes closed here. Clevenger. Well, first of all, Indians beat the Twins 6-3, 6-10-2 Indians, 3-10-0 Twins. Matan gets the win, his second for the Indians. Roma gets his first loss for the Twins, and Hand gets his ninth save. Clevenger from Cleveland, the pitcher, went 6 full, gave up 8 hits, 2 earned runs, got 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Paul Matan, Cleveland pitcher, went 1 2/3, didn't give up a hit or an earned run, got a strikeout, and no walks. Braves over the Yankees in the second game of a big old DH. 2-1, 2-5-0 for the Braves, 1-5-0 for the Yankees. Fried gets his 5th win in a row without a loss. Green suffers with a 2-1 record. Melancon gets his 5th save. Fried, Atlanta, PA, 6 full innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 soft music, and 1 walk. Tanaka for New York Yankees goes 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned run, 450, and 88 seconds remaining. Tigers beat the Cubs 7-6, 7-18-0 for the Tigers, 6-11-1 for the Cubs. Jimenez splits the uprights, and it's good. A 1-1 way to celebrate. And Tapira gets a loss. He's 0-1. Players of the game, Chicago Cubs Lester, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And Jimenez for Detroit pitched 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 earned run, no strikeouts, and 1 walk. Mets over the Marlins, 5-4, 5-9-0 for the Mets, 4-6-0 for the Marlins. Brock gets the win. He's 1-0. Vincent gets a loss. He's 1-2. DeGrom, the pitcher for the Mets, went 7 full, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 14 strikeouts he got, and 2 walks. Comporto, the Mets right fielder, went 2 for 2, 3 runs, a homer, a rib, and 2 strikeouts. And finally, the Oakland Athletics defeated the Texas Rangers 3-1, 3-5-0 for the Athletics, 1-3-2 for the Rangers. Allard gets the loss for the Rangers. He's still 0-3. Hendricks gets his 10th save. We don't know who the winning pitcher is, but as they say in the world, stay tuned. Fires for Oakland, the pitcher, pitched extremely well, 6 innings, got 3 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Hendricks, the Oakland pitcher, went 1 inning with no hits, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and no walks. Angels, Astros, Reds, Brewers, Mariners, Padres, Dodgers, and Giants all postponed, and there could be another postponement tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Because of our time limitations, I'm going to have to just be full force again. To my Facebook family and friends, love you. Thank you for all your kindnesses and support of me and my mom as we are all in this together. We also say a goodly little bit of anticipation. Yay. Okay. What is it I'm saying? Oh yeah. I don't know what it is that I'm saying, but I'm saying it. Hello to all my friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That is going to literally wrap us up tonight on our little broadcast. We went over our 45-minute allot. Next week, actually, September, we're going back to an hour, and we hope you'll tune in for that. But for right now, I am Steve the Baxman Baxley. Should anything happen during the overnight hours with the NBA, of course, the big announcement, the big meeting, the emergency meeting is scheduled for tomorrow with the NBA Board of Governors, Board of Directors I think it is the Board of Governors, to decide whether or not to continue the season. And I have a feeling they won't be the only one having a emergency meeting this week as events continue to change. And again, the situation in Kenosha, Wisconsin continues to be fluid. Stay with your local television and radio stations and your cable networks, news channels for all the latest on happenings in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as well as other places. As this continues to be a week, we are all going to be remembering. But for now, for everybody here at the L2C Sports Final at L2C Sports and Mystifying Creativity Production staff, I am Steve the Baxman Baxley saying, usually I would be saying, no matter what sport you love, may your team be winners. But I really can't say that since some didn't play today for obvious reasons and with good reasons. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We will bring you updates as soon as it becomes available. And if anything happens between now and then, Sports Central USA will have more. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 11 or when sports news breaks and or develops. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. We'll be around to bring it to you. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley for everyone here at L2C Sports Final, Mystifying Creativity Productions, and the L2C Sports folks. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. Thank you for joining us. It has been a long night, and tomorrow will even be longer. Good night, everybody. Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.